Have you ever been surrounded by people and still felt completely alone? Have you ever opened your phone, seen hundreds of contacts, dozens of notifications, endless social media posts, and yet felt like nobody truly understood you? If so, you're experiencing something that millions of people around the world struggle with every day: loneliness. And here's something surprising: loneliness is not the same as being alone. You can be alone and feel peaceful. You can also be surrounded by friends, family, classmates, or co-workers and still feel deeply lonely. Because loneliness isn't the absence of people, it's the absence of meaningful connection. Imagine our ancestors thousands of years ago. Humans survived by living in tribes. Being separated from the group often meant danger, starvation, or death. So over time, our brains evolved a powerful warning system. Just as physical pain warns us that something is wrong with our bodies, loneliness warns us that something is missing in our social lives. In other words, loneliness is emotional pain. And like physical pain, it exists for a reason. But in today's world, this ancient survival system is facing a new challenge. Never before in human history have we been so connected. We can instantly message someone on the other side of the planet. We can share photos, videos, and thoughts with thousands of people. We can spend hours scrolling through the lives of others. Yet loneliness continues to rise. Why? Because connection and contact are not the same thing. You can interact with hundreds of people online without forming a single deep relationship. Many people know our profile, very few know our real selves. Social media often makes this worse. When we scroll through perfectly edited photos and highlight reels, it can seem like everyone else is happier, more successful, and more loved than we are. We compare our behind the scenes reality to other people's best moments. And slowly, a dangerous thought begins to grow. Maybe I'm the only one who feels this way. But that's the biggest illusion loneliness creates. It convinces people that they are alone in feeling alone. The truth is that loneliness affects people of every age. Teenagers feel lonely. College students feel lonely. Working professionals feel lonely. Parents feel lonely. Even celebrities, athletes, and successful entrepreneurs often talk openly about experiencing loneliness. Because loneliness is not caused by a lack of popularity. It's caused by a lack of genuine emotional connection. And the longer loneliness lasts, the more powerful it becomes. Research has shown that chronic loneliness can increase stress, reduce self-esteem, affect sleep quality, and even impact physical health. It changes the way we think. A lonely mind becomes hyper-aware of rejection. It starts searching for signs that people don't care. A delayed text message feels personal. A missed invitation feels intentional. A small misunderstanding feels like proof that nobody wants us around. The brain enters a vicious cycle. Loneliness creates negative thoughts. Negative thoughts make us withdraw. Withdrawal creates even more loneliness. And the cycle continues. But here's the important question: how do we break it? The first step is understanding that loneliness is a signal, not a life sentence. It is your mind telling you that you need meaningful connection, not more followers, not more likes, not more views, real connection. The second step is reaching out, even when you don't feel like it. This sounds simple, but loneliness often tricks people into isolation. It whispers, "Nobody cares. Don't bother. You'll just be rejected." But loneliness is often a terrible advisor. Sometimes a simple message can restart a friendship. Sometimes a short conversation can become a meaningful connection. And sometimes the people who seem distant are waiting for someone else to make the first move. The third step is learning to be comfortable with yourself. Many people believe that being alone automatically means being lonely, but they are different things. Being alone is a situation. Loneliness is a feeling. Some of the happiest people in the world spend time alone reading, creating, learning, exercising, or reflecting. When you develop a healthy relationship with yourself, solitude becomes less frightening. You stop needing constant distraction. You begin enjoying your own company. The fourth step is focusing on quality rather than quantity. One genuine friend is often more valuable than 100 casual acquaintances. Human beings don't need endless social interactions. They need meaningful ones. A single person who listens, understands, and accepts you can make an enormous difference. And finally, remember this. Loneliness is a feeling, not a fact. Just because you feel disconnected today doesn't mean you'll feel disconnected forever. Feelings change, circumstances change, relationships change, and life changes. Many people who once felt completely alone eventually found friendships, communities, partners, and purpose they never expected. Not because they were lucky, but because they kept moving forward despite how they felt. So if loneliness has been weighing on you lately, remember this. You are not strange. You are not weak. And you are certainly not the only person feeling this way. Millions of people are fighting the same invisible battle. The very thing loneliness tells you that nobody understands is often the one thing that isn't true. Because somewhere out there, there are people who would understand your struggles, appreciate your presence, and value your friendship. The challenge is giving yourself the chance to find them. And that journey begins with a single step, a message, a conversation, a connection. Because sometimes the distance between loneliness and belonging is much smaller than it seems.